sense, equally yet different did come out of the winning way. My earlier work that we've been doing for the last 20 years. At least the realization that women are equal but yet different, and their needs are different. The thought that we don't have enough women leaders was always there at the back of the mind. But combined with that, the fact that women need something different, something extra, kind of encouraged me to do this book. It's not like other books have not been written on the topic. Lean In, for example, impressed me. I read it maybe 10 years ago. But somewhere I felt that Lean In puts the whole onus on women. And that doesn't work in the Indian setup. Our families and our social structure are quite different. And so I thought that, equally different would look at a more 360-degree approach. And that's how I talk about, what women must do, and then what organizations, what spouses, what society must do. I really believe that equally different is how women like to be treated and need to be treated. And they are equal and yet different. When you see the career graphs of batchmates, they start in the same way, but a few moves later, the two graphs start looking very different for men and women. Especially, it's so true of batchmates. You see this happening all the time. Equally different is something that people have got intrigued by. I like to believe that women are equal in terms of ability and ambition, but different in terms of the requirements, the challenges that they face, and also the way women are wired or conditioned over the years. I think women also look at success a little differently. For men, success is very professional. For women, we want everything to happen right. The family, the kids, and careers. And so I think women are equal yet different. In the book, I've talked about a number of limiting behaviors that a large number of women display. So typically, women are poor networkers. They don't negotiate well enough. They don't speak up in gatherings. They can't stake a claim to what they want because they can't showcase their work well enough. I think a lot of this has its roots in the patriarchal system that we are in. Somewhere there is a feeling that men work for the family and women work for themselves. And so it means that, a man has to go out to work, but a woman has to take care of everything else and then manage her work. Which is why, work-life balance is something that only women grapple with. Because that is seen to be, by society, their primary responsibility. You have to manage the home well enough. A lot of times people talk about women being great multitaskers. I don't think it's a great skill. I think it's more to do with the need that they just have no option. Interestingly, if you look at the way women look at success, that also has its roots here. Because they're doing so many things, they don't think like men. For men, professional success is their way of defining success. But women want it all. They want a good home, they want great kids, they want a great career. So that's probably where it originates from. Apart from that, I think being in a minority, being in such low numbers, doesn't give women great confidence. Smaller numbers mean lower confidence, and which is why all this, not speaking up or not staking a claim, all these behaviors are displayed. The moment we have more numbers, more women, especially in leadership positions, decision-making roles, I think this behavior will change. I think it's already changing a bit with the younger generation, but we'll see more change. first place kids learn about a gender bias is really at home. And while modern day parents are far more egalitarian compared to earlier generations, I think patriarchy is still alive, very much there, especially when you have grandparents around, other relatives around. Uh, so that there are a lot of signals that kids catch on to. Who does the domestic chores, who gets the priority at home, the mother saying things like, I will have to ask Papa. How the domestic help feels that, the men pay their salaries, whereas the women give the instructions. Those kind of things, I think, are important signals that children catch. Apart from that, I think somewhere along the line, earning power also dictates share of voice. And so if they see this happening, then they have already got a taste of gender bias. There are also signals from society at large. So everybody expects the girl to be pretty and not get dark when she goes out to play. She doesn't have to be in the sun for too long, because otherwise she'll get tanned and then she won't find a good enough husband. It still happens in a lot of communities, in smaller towns. The bias still exists. Nobody seems to say that the girl has to be strong, independent, courageous. So even these kind of emotions, even in emotions, there is a gender bias that is happening. So I think, firstly, women, mothers, sisters, need to be respected at home. Children need to be taught to respect the work that they do. Whether they are into careers or whether it's work at home, they need to be respected, I think. And the second thing is that similar aspirations need to be created for boys and girls. Girls also must be encouraged to do things that make them independent.